Hi, this is Best Business Radio host Doug Huggins back with part 3 of our interview with Mr. Chuck Norris.
Well, since our whole program is developed to help small business owners, entrepreneurs, work-from-home professionals to really help their business, but I think a lot of us have to look past that. I mean, certainly we have to take care of our family, but we have to look past that to what was best for our country. What would you suggest that we as small business owners and entrepreneurs can do to help get our country back on track?
Well, first of all, the Democrats are completely off base when they say that we're going to tax the upper 5%, 20% upper tax, 5%, because these are our small business owners. These are the people that are employing our middle-class workers in America. And so now, think of this. Let's say you have 30 employees. Now they wind up with a 20% increase in their taxes. So they say, okay, how am I going to keep my business surviving? You know, because I got to pay health and welfare and pension for my employees along with their salaries, and I can't afford it with a 20% increase in taxes. So I'll have to lay off 10 of my 30 employees to be able to compensate for that tax increase. So they lay off their 10 employees. So who is really suffering, Doug, from this? It's our middle class, because they're the ones that are being laid off, and for our smaller business owners to survive, to be able to keep their business going. So the thing is, and then the super rich, they're going to say, well, I'm just going to send more of my money offshore. If they want to tax me 20%, I'll just hide more of my money offshore. So it'll go from 13 trillion to 20 or 30 trillion. So the thing is, the super rich are not going to suffer with this tax increase. It's going to be the middle class that suffers from this tax increase to the super rich. And the thing is, he said, well, the 95% will get tax refunds. So they get let's say they get a $500 tax refund. So that's less than $50 a month. And how is that really going to help them in the long run? No. So so the thing is, the thinking is completely off base as far as I'm concerned about the way they envision how we can pull ourselves out of this crisis that we're in. And I think the beginning to resolve this crisis, because we're bailing ourselves into bankruptcy. We're borrowing ourselves into bankruptcy now, because we're wanting to borrow $1 trillion to anyone that will loan it to us. There's another trillion. China, we already owe China $1.5 trillion in debt. So what do we give up for collateral in this? What is the United States giving up for collateral? I have no idea. What we're using for collateral for this debt that we're accumulating in our country, and our dollar is diminishing, because they're just printing more and more and more money. So that just lowers the value of our dollar. It's dropped 46% in the last 10 years. So I mean, eventually it's going to be like Mexico, where it'll take $1 billion to buy a loaf of bread. I mean, it's scary, Doug.
It is scary.
And I really think that Huckabee was on the right track when he said, for us to get back, at least get started back on recovery, is to change our whole taxation system in America, and go strictly to a consumptive tax. So that way you get all your money, and if you can afford to buy something, you buy it. If you can't afford to buy it, you wait until you get the money to buy it. But let the people decide where their money's going, because the more money we give to government, the more they figure out how to spend it. And these earmarks are just killing us. I mean, AIG is a prime example. We give them billions of dollars, and the first thing to do is go on a retreat and spend $440,000 on a retreat. See, I was totally against this bailout. I thought, okay, we'll give out $700 billion. But the thing is, they're not going to do much with it. They're going to be greedy and just keep it and use it for their own selfish purposes. And that's kind of the way it's been happening. We don't hear a thing about anything positive happening with that $700 billion. And now we're thinking now we're going to infuse another $1 trillion, to help bail it out. Well, it's not going to work, Doug. It's not going to work. because people, as soon as they say, our government will bail us out, so I don't have to work that hard. I don't have to worry about getting in huge debt. And then our corporate CEOs of these companies, AIG and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they get millions of dollars in payouts. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so frustrating. That's what I address in this book. Is I really address the problem we have, and then I also give a solution to the problem we have, like immigration, illegal immigration. I don't know if you read the book yet or not, but I really believe my concept of the illegal immigration is a great way to resolve it. And keeping the we can't send 10 million or 12 million people, or who knows how many million there really are over here illegally. But the thing is, the ones that are over here trying to make a living, that are working and are a constructive part of our community, give them a temporary workers permit for 2 years. And if they maintain that quality of their life here, then in 2 years, let them have a permanent workers permit, and then in 3 years they can apply for citizenship. Then the ones that are not a constructive part of our society, make them fugitives from justice, and go after them. And then the law enforcement community knows who they can go after, and because they now are fugitives from justice. But you know what gets me, Doug? We can give $85 billion to AIG, but we can't spend $2 billion to put up a fence to protect our security. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. And I'm sure you know this, but another huge advantage of the fair tax is, even with as many illegals as we have in this country, because it's a consumption tax, those people will be taxed.
Absolutely. And also your drug dealers, your prostitutes, everybody will be taxed in our country.
So it makes a lot more sense.
And but the thing is, the only way it's going to work is people like you, Doug, and people in the media community getting out there and saying and getting on board together as a team, because it's going to take a team effort to turn this around. And if we get together as a team and start putting the pressure on our politicians to start pushing toward this fair tax, is the only way it's going to happen.
I agree.
Thank you for watching. And please join us for part 4 of Best Business Radio's interview with Mr.